everyone, I'm so excited about today's video because today we are going to be just playing around with some Glaminatrix stuff. So mainly I want to focus on the Sandra Rose palette. I've already made a video with this. If you haven't already seen that video, I will link it in the corner, but here's what the palette looks like. So I'm calling this video a 3 looks 1 palette, but really it's just going to be me playing with this palette along with some different things because I also have some single shadows here that I do want to try out, which I just think that these are absolutely beautiful. But like I said, I am going to at least use some of the palette in every look that I do. I also have some pigments here, which I tried to swatch a few of them on my hand here, and they are so messy, so I don't know if I necessarily want to, you know, make this whole desk a mess right now. But we're gonna just see what happens today. I can't promise that I'll use any in this look in particular, but I'll try to use at least one of the pigments in one of these looks. So like I said, if you haven't already seen this palette, this is what it looks like. It's absolutely stunning. The owner actually asked me for input on this palette, so I've helped curate this color story and I just think it's beautiful. Not that I'm biased or anything, but like, isn't this just beautiful? So we're gonna go ahead and just get straight into this. I don't even know what I'm going to do today, but I have a very fun day planned, or fun night I should say. So I'm gonna go ahead and just prime my eyes with my Smashbox Lid Primer in Light. And so I'm actually going out tonight and meeting one of my YouTube friends. Her name is Lindsay. Her channel name is Nerdy Girl Makeup. If you guys aren't following her, she's amazing. I'm so excited. She will be the 3rd YouTuber now that I'll have met. I did meet up with Angelica Nyquist in LA not that long ago. It's probably been like a month now, I want to say, and we had such a good time. Like, that was so much fun. And so Lindsay's here tonight for work reasons and she wanted to meet up, and we're gonna go out, we're gonna go for dinner, we're gonna maybe have some drinks, walk around. I live in Vegas, so there's a lot of stuff to see, so excited to just have someone to hang out with, you know, especially a female. I don't have a lot of friends in general, so having a female friend who is into YouTube and who knows all this stuff is just going to be amazing. And so I want this to be more of a nighttime type of look, I guess. It doesn't necessarily have to be like super dark and intense, but I do want it to be like more on the smoky side, I think. So I think for the upper part of my lid in my crease, I want to mainly focus on the green. So I'm gonna first go into Leaf, which is this very dark green. This is beautiful. I'm so excited to try this. I don't think I tried this shade in my first impression video. So I'm gonna go ahead and take this on a Morphe E17 brush, and I'm just going to start packing this into my crease. I'm gonna keep it fairly low down to start off because I don't think I'm gonna go in with anything else and blend this out with. So I don't want this to get out of hand since it'll probably be the only shade that I do have in my crease. So I'm just going to first place this where I want it, and then I'll probably switch to a bit of a fluffier brush here to start blending this out. I'm also going to keep the shape of this very round because I'm going to go ahead and probably do a bit of a big wing when I'm done. And I want my wing to extend past where the edge of my shadow is. And I'm probably going to go in with quite a few shimmers on my lid. At least that's going to be the plan. I haven't like quite decided exactly where I'm going with this, but I want to do the upper part of my lid first, and then we'll see if I want to pull in maybe something different on the lower lash line or not. Like I said, I haven't really decided yet. So, I mean, that shadow just worked so beautifully and it laid down very opaquely and very nicely. So far we are off to a good start. Now, I did have a really good first impression with this palette, and I'm so excited to just be able to play with this a bit again because this palette just inspires me so much, which, I mean, it would be kind of weird if it didn't since I did help make this color story, but I mean, there's just something about this palette and the colors in it, and so far I'm really loving the formula too. So having something that is just all around a good product just makes it so much more enjoyable to work with for me, because to me, I've said this before, but to me makeup is a lot about the process and not so much about the end result. Like, of course it's nice if the end result ends up looking good, but if you have a good experience while you're doing your makeup, the end result is probably going to end up looking good anyway. So it just makes me really happy to be able to play with stuff that I actually like, and I don't feel like I have to work super hard to get to perform. So now that I have this kind of placed down where I want it, I'm going to switch to a smaller, a bit fluffier brush. So I'm going to use a Hakuhodo brush. This has rubbed off so I cannot see. It looks like it says the J9S29. I don't know, that could be completely off, but it's a very small blending brush. I actually have a very similar one from Ofra that I really love. It's basically a dupe. I'm just going to take this and start using very small circular motions and just gently bring this up into my crease a bit higher until I feel like this shadow is blended out. Now there is another green in this palette which is more of like a minty green, and I don't really want like that kind of a transition shade for this. Ideally I would have liked to have something a bit more on like the murky olivey side. I'm going to dip into a little bit more of that shadow and just make sure that I have this high enough up now. But yeah, there's not really a transition shade in this that I feel like is going to be good for the look that I plan on doing, which is totally fine. I don't need a transition shade. I think that's kind of overrated anyway, in my opinion. And I also do have a code with Glaminatrix. I don't know if I ever mentioned that, but you can get 15% off your order, not affiliated, if you use the code Annette. So if you've been thinking about maybe ordering from Glaminatrix, or if you want to, you know, get this palette when it restocks, you can use my code and get some money off. I don't think anyone else has a code. Could be wrong, but if you wanted to use the code, please go ahead and do so. I don't make anything from that, but it does save you a little bit of money, which is great. And I think this shadow is just blending out so beautifully. Oh, I really like that. So I think I want to do some purple on my lower lash line, so I'm going to go in with Nectar, but first I want to just put down a little bit of eyeshadow primer. I want this color to be like super intense and strong, so I am going to just prime underneath my eye. I do remember in my first impression video that I didn't really need to do this, but I do want this to like really last throughout the night, so just to make sure, I'm going to go ahead and prime. I'm getting eyeshadow primer all over my lashes. That is not a good look. And I'm going to go into the shadow now, and I'm using my Morphe E36 brush. I'm pretty sure this is. It's funny, the E36s, I probably have like 3 of them, and I swear they're all like different sizes. So sometimes I'm like, is this the E36? Because it feels so much smaller than some of the other E36s that I have. So I mean, Morphe is just not really that consistent with their brushes apparently. But this is laying down really, really, really nicely. I haven't yet decided if I want to do anything like special in the inner part of my lower lash line here, so I think I'm going to just leave that option open because I'm not sure yet what I want to do on my lid. I'm thinking I want to go in with maybe one of the purple shimmers and possibly some of the blues too. But I do want most of this to be like a pretty dark look, like I said earlier. And I also have not figured out what to wear later, which is why I'm just wearing a black t-shirt right now, because I just could not be bothered trying to figure out what to wear. I tend to always pick my outfit after I do my makeup. Let me know if you pick your outfit first and then do your makeup accordingly, or if you do it the other way around. To me, my makeup is definitely the deciding factor on what I end up wearing. I never get dressed before I film, or usually sometimes I do, but I usually end up having to change after. It just depends on the makeup look that I end up doing. So I think I'm gonna leave it just the way it is right now, and then I'm gonna go ahead and do my big wing that I've been doing lately, and I'm gonna use my DHC Cosmetics liquid liner, and I'm just going to let you guys watch because it's really hard to explain what I'm doing and I'm usually out of focus anyway. So I'm basically just going to take my eyeliner and I'm going to draw a triangle for where I want the line to be, and then I'm going to connect it to like the middle of my eye where my hood is when I look straight forward. And then I'm basically just going to fill in the tip of the wing, and then I think I'm just going to go ahead and smack some shimmers on the rest of my lid and kind of connect it to the wing. So let me just do the wing part and then I'll be back and we can continue with all of this stuff. So just before I go in with the shimmers now, I'm going to take a little bit of black eyeshadow just so I can kind of go over the edges here where I just put down a black eyeliner, just to kind of smooth that out a bit before I go in with the shadows on top. So I know there's no black in this palette or anything, but I mean, I figured if anybody wanted to recreate this, they would probably have a black in their collection of some sort. So I'm just patting some black eyeshadow here just right between where the eyeliner and like the rest of my lid meets, just so I can get a bit of a better transition and be able to layer shadows easily on top of this. So I think what I'm gonna do next is I'm going to go in with some blues on my lid. I'm kind of feeling the blues right now, so I'm first going to take Sandra because I've not used this shade yet and I'm just so excited about it. I'm gonna go ahead and spray this with some Fix Plus here just to make sure I don't have any fallout. And then I'm gonna place that on the middle to the last. Wow, that is beautiful. Oh my god, to like the, see, I'm just speechless right now. I don't even know where I was going with this. I'm gonna connect it with black, I think is what I was trying to say. Oh man, that is stunning. That is even prettier on the eye than I expected it to be. I mean, I knew it swatched good, but dang, that is so pretty. And that is just blending into the black really nicely too. Oh, I love that. Now the question is, what do I want to do on the rest of my lid? I'm thinking I want to go into Flourish, but I also have this beautiful kind of lime green shimmer in the other palette. I guess it's not lime green, but this one right here, ooh, that feels so... Oh my goodness. I mean, is that what I need to do? That's quite beautiful. I think I just need to do that. I don't know if I really have a choice. I think I'm just gonna go in with that. This is not turning into a night look. This is just me playing with colors at this point. So this is Spirit. This looks so beautiful. I can't wait to put that on my eyes. I'm gonna go ahead and spray this as well. And I'm gonna try to be kind of precise with this, so it's not going to look like super intense just because my brush is very small. I definitely could use a bigger brush and it would probably be a better idea, but I want to kind of be a bit precise with this. So I'm just going to go ahead and take my time and build up this shadow. Oh, that is so beautiful though. Oh my god. And then I think for the inner part of my lower lash line, I wasn't sure if I wanted to do anything else, but let's just see how this is going to look. I feel like that could look pretty, but maybe I want to do something else before I go in with that. So what if I do a little bit of Flora, which is this kind of dark purple shimmer? What if I put a little bit of that just in the inner part of my lower lash line, and then I'll layer a bit of this on top of that? I think that might look kind of cool. It might also be a little bit too much of everything, but you know what? We're just going to do it anyway. I'm just going to place that right in my inner corner here. And like I said, we are going to lighten this up a bit, so it doesn't matter if it's like very dark. That is such a beautiful shadow. Oh my god. I don't know why I keep being so blown away by these, because it's not like it's my first time using them. I mean, I've used it once before, but still, you know. I think I've just had so many other palettes that I've played with in the meanwhile that just hasn't been anywhere near as good as this. No shade to those palettes, but when you go back to using something that's just like really, really good, it just reminds you like how good eyeshadows can really be and why you shouldn't settle with just mediocre eyeshadows. Alright, so now that I have this down, I think I'm just gonna go into Jasmine, which like I said was this kind of yellow gold, and I think I'm just gonna layer a little bit of that just like right above both of the shades where they meet. I'm just gonna tap a little bit of that like right between the two. I think I really like how that looks. And I think I'm also just going to go in with a little bit more of that leaf shade, which was the first green that we used, because I feel like it kind of got lost a bit in everything else that's going on the lid because everything is so intense. So I'm just going to kind of run that back in my crease here, just bring back this color a bit. So I think that made a big difference. So I'm going to go ahead and finish up the rest of my eyes. Not sure what I want to do my waterline. I'm thinking I might just do black all around and then put on some mascara, and I'll be right back and show you the completed look. So here are the eyes all done. I decided to just go with black all around, so I used black in my waterline, black on my upper lashes, and then obviously black mascara. And then for lips, I didn't put it on yet because I don't know why I started my outro without doing so, but I'm going to use my Kat lipstick in Lovesick. I got this in a BoxyCharm a while back, and it's probably one of my favorite lip colors, if I could say that. I really like the formula of these Kat lipsticks too. I think this is really pretty. And then on top of that, I'm going to use a lip gloss that I was sent through Octoly. This is from Ofra, and this is in the shade Orchid. I've been really liking this. I like the formula of this a lot. I'm not the biggest fan of the color, but like that is completely my own fault for choosing this color. But I think the formula is awesome. It's not sticky at all. It has a very subtle smell to it. It's not like sweet or anything. It just smells very pleasant, and it's got a giant doe foot. And I love glosses that has giant doe foots. I don't know what it is about it, but I just really like this. So that is going to be the completed look. Let me know what you think. I really like this, and I feel like it kind of matches with my earrings too, which was not planned at all. I actually got a lot of questions in my 10 Looks 1 palette when I was wearing these, and they're from Betsey Johnson. I ended up getting them at the TJ Maxx store that just opened near us. So I love Betsey Johnson. I think she has some really, really cute stuff, so I'm so happy to be able to go there and maybe get some more stuff at a discount. But yeah, that's going to be it for look number 1. Let's just get into look number 2 because this is such a fun palette to play with. Alright, so we are going to do the second look now, and I think I want to focus a little bit on some of the shadows in this little palette, or the shadows that she did send me, because some of these are so beautiful. So I'm thinking I definitely want to use this lime green here because, I mean, it just looks so pretty. This one is called Algae, and I don't really know exactly what it is I want to do with this, but I definitely want to use it. So let's see, what would be a good color to go with that? I don't think the pink is necessarily going to go the best with this because these are complementary colors. So let's see what else we have in here that would go. Obviously the greens in the Sandra Rose palette would look good with it, but I'm kind of tempted to use a little bit of the brown, which I know, shocking, but like, I don't know, it just sounds like a good idea. So I think that's what I'm gonna do. I'm thinking I'm gonna probably go ahead and put this in my crease. And then maybe I'll go in and deepen it up with the brown. Maybe I'll do a halo eye with the brown or something like that. Maybe that could be a good idea. But I'm going to go ahead and start just by putting the green shade all in my crease here. So I'm using a bit of a, wow, that's beautiful, a very dense kind of fluffy brush at the same time. And I'm just really pressing that into my skin. And we'll see what happens when I start to kind of blend this out a little bit, because usually with shadows like this, they'll go on super pigmented and vibrant like you see now. And then you'll start blending and it'll definitely, you know, get a little bit more muted and toned down. And sometimes shadows have a tendency to oxidize a little bit, but honestly, that's looking so good. Oh, I think that is such a beautiful shadow. And I think for once I'm going to try to keep the shape of this pretty round. I can't get over how vibrant that is. That's absolutely beautiful. Like, I feel like at this point with shadows like this, especially like neon shadows or very, very vibrant shadows, I've just kind of lost hope and I don't really expect much from them anymore, which is why I'm pleasantly surprised by this, because this is looking so nice. So I think what I'm going to do next is, I think I want to do a halo eye. So I'm going to go into Seed, which is the dark brown in this palette. Now I have seen a couple of people use this palette in their videos and they've tried to kind of build on the brown, and it's been looking a little bit patchy, so I'm curious to see how this is going to just layer on top of something else here and see if it's going to be nice and opaque. So I'm first just going to pat this on the outer corner of my eye, and so far it seems like it's laying down very nicely. I'm just going to gently start blending this now. And as you can see, I don't really like to take my halo eyes all the way across when I'm deepening up the inner and outer part. I know a lot of people will like connect it in the middle, but I find that with my hooded eyes it tends to just look a little better when I keep it to the outer part and the inner part of my eye here. And it's taken a little while to blend the shadow out, and I need to use quite a bit of pressure to do so, but it's definitely blending, and I don't really feel like this is looking patchy at all, because I feel like I can just go in with a little bit more and it's going to layer very nicely here. So I mean, I don't really seem to have any problems with this so far, so that's always good. And like I've said in some other videos where I do halo eyes, I find that the best way to get a good blend between the colors is simply to use a bit of a smaller brush. And so having like a bunch of different option brushes is really helpful for doing different kind of eye looks. And obviously you can see now that the green is a little bit more toned down, but obviously I've gone in with a bunch of brown on top of this, but it's still looking really, really nice. And I like that it almost turned it into a bit of a kind of muddier green. I'm gonna go into a bit more of that green after I'm done with the other eye here, and then maybe see what I want to put on my lid after. I haven't yet decided what I really want to do with this look. I'm just kind of taking it one color at a time. Am I crazy if I say that I love this brown? Because I never say I love browns, but I just like how dark and intense this is, because I feel like if I'm gonna use a brown, I want it to be like really rich, because I don't like the medium tone browns. Those are just like the most boring thing ever. So I am really happy with how that actually layered and blended out. So let's see, what do I want to do like in the middle of my eye here? I'm thinking I kind of just want to go in with Jasmine because this has a bit of, oh, that's so pretty. Oh my god, I think that's what I'm going to do. It's got a bit of like a green yellow undertone to it. So I think that is what I will do. Do I have any other shimmers in the other palette here that would look good with this? Obviously I could go in with this green again, but since I used that in the first look, I kind of want to not use that and try something else. So I think I'm going to use Jasmine. I'm actually wearing that as my highlighter today, but I feel like it's faded a little bit, so I'm going to just put on a little bit more here. And I feel like this actually works really nice for me as a highlighter. And I'm also wearing one of the shades in this palette as my blush. I am wearing Petal, this one right here, and then I put a little bit of my Cover FX Pink Dahlia, like the shimmery side on here, like over the top, and I feel like that turned out to be a really nice combo. So what I'm going to do next is I'm going to go into Jasmine. I'm going to spray that with some Fix Plus, and then I'm going to place that in the middle of my lid here, and then I'll probably go in with a bit more of that. Actually, let's go in with a bit more of that green before I do that. So I'm just taking some more of that first shadow that I put on. I'm just going to run that through my crease one more time here just to make sure that the blend and everything is looking nice. And then I'm taking the shimmer shade and I'm just going to pop that right in the middle of my lid here where I don't have any shadow. I'm mainly trying to keep this very focused in the beginning, and then once I got like the stripe right down the middle here, I'm gonna try to start feathering it out in both directions. Just using what is left over on my brush here. So I think what I want to do on my lower lash line, I honestly love how this is looking so much. I think that looks so cool. Like, I like the look on other people where they have like the spotlight on the both ends, top and the bottom, but on myself, I just don't really find that to be very flattering. So I don't want to do that, but I do think I want to pull some of that green down to my lower lash line as well. And then I'll probably just like smudge a bit of the brown underneath. So I'll keep it with like the same colors. And I do want to make sure that that green really pops, so I'm going to go in with a bit more of my eyeshadow primer just on my lower lash line here. Just going to blend that out a bit before I go in with the green. And I'm then just going to be very heavy-handed with this green, and I'm going to make sure that my brush is clean before I put anything on. And I'm just going to really pack that underneath my eye here. And then I'm going to take a bit of that brown on the palette and I'm going to put that on like very close to my lower lash line here. And I think just for a little bit of extra fun, I kind of want to do something unexpected in my inner corner. So I think I'm going to go into Flourish, which is the very, very light blue. And I think I'm going to put that in my inner corner. I might regret that after and not just go with like something very simple, but I just have to. So I'm just going to pop that right in here. I'm going to try to keep this as focused as I can, but this shade is so pigmented that I'm just going to place it down first. And I'm going to wipe off my brush a little bit, and then I'm just going to try to blend this out everywhere and like just diffuse all the edges. Okay, I think I really like that. I think that was a pretty good idea. So I'm very happy with how this is looking. I'm gonna go ahead and finish up my eyes. I'm thinking I want to not do any kind of crazy thing in my waterline. Maybe if I have like a dark brown liner, I'll use that. Yeah, I don't know why I thought I would have a dark brown eyeliner, because why would I? So I'm just gonna go ahead and do black all around. So I will do that, put on a lip product, and then I will be right back and show you the completed look. So here is the finished look. I really like this. I am honestly so impressed by that green shadow. If you guys were thinking about making an order, don't skip on that one because that is absolutely beautiful. Again, this one was called Algae, I'm pretty sure. Oh, it's so pretty. I mean, I can't get over how good the shadow is. So very impressed by that. For my lipstick, I use one of the NYX Soft Matte Lip Creams. I've had this in my collection for a while and I don't know why I don't reach for it. I think it's because it's a little bit more of a thicker moussey formula than I'm used to, and I'm a little thrown off by that. But I think I like it. This is in the shade Stockholm, and I feel like it goes with the look. I don't know, let me know what you think. I'm honestly really happy with this look. So yeah, I'm excited to play more with this. I feel like I could easily do so many more looks with this palette, and I'm kind of sad that I'm only doing 3 in this video, but I just don't have time to do 10 looks with everything. I wish I did, but I'm having so much fun playing with these. So that's going to be it for look number 2. Let's just get into look number 3. It is time for the last look with this palette, and I literally can't believe that I'm only doing 3 looks with this, but the show must go on, you know. I got other things to film with as well, but I love this palette so far. So I think for this look, I want to use one of the pigments, so I'm going to use probably this holographic one because I want to do more of a, I know I say soft look and it ends up being like a clown anyway, but I want to try to do more of a muted look. So I'm first going to start off by taking Vine, which is this beautiful kind of minty green, and I'm going to put that into my inner corner. And then I think I want to use some of the pinks and stuff for like the rest of my eye look. I haven't really decided what it is I want to do. All I know is I want to start with this because I just need to use this shade because it's so beautiful. So I'm just going to pack this into my inner corner, and I'm really pressing this into my skin here to make sure that it's sticking to my tacky eyeshadow primer. I'm also going to take it down to my lower lash line here. So I'm so annoyed. I was just getting ready to film and I went to put my foundation on, and I just changed and now I have like foundation splatters all over my t-shirt, which this is why I should never get ready or get dressed before I start filming, because I just make such a mess. Like, I don't know how people can sit down wearing like a white t-shirt and then film and then still have a white t-shirt by the end of it. I just don't understand. Like, I can't even make it through a day with, you know, a white t-shirt even if I'm not doing anything. So yeah, I mean, more power to those people, but I am just too clumsy of a person to ever be able to do my makeup and not spill on myself, which is why I don't usually dress up to like start filming. Sometimes I'll do my foundation and stuff, and then before I go in with my eyeshadow, I'll go change, just because I don't tend to make a mess like with my eyeshadows. It's mostly just with my base makeup somehow. I don't know. Maybe I'm the only one who just makes a mess no matter what I do. So let's see. What do I want to do next? I am tempted to go into Petal. I don't know if I've used this shade in any of my looks yet. I also kind of want to use Bud, and I want to use Leaf too. I mean, I really just want to use all of them. But I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to go into Petal, and I think I'm going to put this in the rest of my crease. I'm not sure how that's going to mix with that minty shade, but I think if I'm careful, I'll be able to kind of layer them on top of each other without really blending them too much. So I'm just going to go ahead and start placing this in the rest of my crease now. I might even go in with a brown possibly and deepen this up. Could that be a good idea? I feel like that could look kind of cool. So I'm just being really careful where these two colors meet, and I'm gently just tapping over each other because I don't want those two colors to really mix, because it's going to make a bit of a kind of blue. You know what? I don't think I want to deepen this up with any of the mattes, so I'm just going to go ahead and take this in the outer corner of my eye as well. And I think I'm also going to pull it down to my lower lash line and kind of keep this more of a simple look. So I'm basically just going to do the same thing that I have in my crease on my lower lash line here. And I think I'll probably end up using like two more shades or so. Like I said, I don't want this to really be all that complicated because I want that pigment that I'm using to kind of be the star of the show. Not really sure where I want to place that yet, but I'm thinking I want to kind of layer it in my inner corner, like over that minty shade that I put down. Okay, so what I'm going to do to just get a bit more dimension here is I'm going to go in with Flora, which is this kind of dark purple with a bit of a gray undertone to it, if I had to kind of describe this. But again, don't ever count on me to describe any colors because I don't know what I'm talking about, and I also cannot find my Fix Plus to save my life. So I'm going to go ahead and spray this, and then we're going to put that on about the outer half or so of my lid here. Oh, I love that. That is such a beautiful shade. And I'm also going to gently be blending this into my crease, so I'm not going to make a sharp line at all with this. And I'm going to keep it pretty low down just to start off, and then I'm going to go in with a bit of a fluffier brush to kind of try to blend this out. Actually, I'm just going to use the same brush because the tip of this works really well. So I'm just going to kind of pull down here, and that way if I have a little bit of product on my brush, it's going to get into my crease instead of doing big circular motions or something like that, because I just want a little bit of this into my crease just to mesh everything together. So I think this is looking pretty good. So I think what I'm gonna do next, what if I use, I don't know how that is going to look. You know what I'm gonna do? I think I'm just gonna pull this all over my lid, and then I'm gonna go in with that pigment on top of a lot of this and kind of lighten it up, I think. I think that's what I'm gonna do. So I'm just gonna go ahead and fill in like the rest of the space here. Basically all the way into my inner corner. And I think just to make this a bit more cohesive on the bottom as well, I'm gonna take a little bit of this and just put that like in the, just right in between that mint and the pink shade. And I'm gonna put that, do I want to pull that all the way across? I think I am gonna pull that out all the way across to just deepen up my lower lash line a bit. So what I'm going to do next is I'm going to put away the palette because we are done with that, and I'm going to take the pigment, which I don't know if there is a name for that. I'm going to try to open this. These are very messy because there is no sifter in them, so be careful wherever you open this because it's going to make a mess. So I don't know if you can see in the cap, but it's almost got a bit of a pink shift to it, and I think this is going to be really, really nice. I would show you this like more close, but obviously it's going to spill all over the place, but it looks really beautiful and I'm excited to try this. And just to not make too much of a mess, I'm also going to take some glitter glue, and I'm probably going to spray my brush as well. But first I'm just going to take some glitter glue and I'm going to put that in the inner corner of my eye here, just where I want that pigment to be. And I'm going to layer that above the mint shade. Also pull it down to my lower lash line a bit here. And then I'll probably also pull it up onto my lid. Hopefully this pigment is going to look good with the rest of the look. I haven't really swatched it or like tested it out, so I don't know exactly how it's going to look on the eyes, but we will find out shortly. So I got some of this on my brush, and like I said, I am going to just spray my brush as well now, and I probably need to pick up a little bit more of this, and then I'm gonna just pop that right in here. So it definitely looks to be more of a like transparent pigment, if I'm not mistaken. I don't know if I'm doing this right, so I mean, it's not pigment's fault if this doesn't end up looking good. I probably should not spray my brush possibly, but I mean this is looking really, really nice. Like I love the shifts in that. This is definitely something that you want to layer on top of something else because you're not going to be able to get this to be opaque because it's more of a topper shade. So I'm happy I put down as many different colors as I did, but I think the shift in that is really pretty. I do feel like I lost a bit of that mint shade though, so I'm going to go in with just a little bit more of that because I do want that to really show up. And since I layered so much of that pigment on top of it, I felt like I kind of drowned it out a bit. So I think this is going to be the final look. I'm going to go ahead and finish up the rest of my eyes. I think I'm just going to do either white in my waterline or possibly like a light pink or something like that. I think that would look good. So I'm gonna do all that, put on a lipstick, and then I'll come back and I will kind of sum up my thoughts on all of these products and let you know how I feel about them. So here is the look all complete. I didn't go with pink in my waterline. I actually went with one of the faux whites by NYX. This is in the shade Mint Cream. And I just thought that that would kind of tie into my inner corner without being like too in your face. Like I definitely could have used some kind of a turquoise as well, and I think that would have looked really good, but I wanted something more on like the white side, so I think this was a good choice. And then for lip, I'm using the Lime Crime lipstick in the shade Cupid, and on top I'm using one of my Kevyn Aucoin glosses. I got these sent to me through Octoly, and I absolutely love these. This one is in the shade Crystal Clear. This is what it looks like. It's absolutely stunning. I actually did some swatches of the ones that I do have, but I have 3 of them here, and this is what they look like. And I just think that these are so beautiful. I've worn them quite a few times now. I've actually been reaching for these a lot, like when I have not been filming and I've had to reapply something. I've been reaching for these and I think they're absolutely beautiful. They have enough pigment to them to look like you have something on your lips, but mostly your lips just look really, really shiny and plump. And they also don't have like a tingly feeling to them, which I really like. They're a little bit sticky, but like the good kind of sticky. Do you know what I mean if I say like good sticky and bad sticky? For me, something that is good sticky is something that's going to really stick to your lips and be kind of long lasting without being like gloopy, you know what I mean? So I really like these. I am super impressed by that. So as for my impressions on the Glaminatrix shadows, I would bring out the singles, but they're actually in the other room. I was just having fun just watching them yesterday. But the palette, I am so in love. I just love this. I think this is so beautiful. I didn't personally have any issues with any of the shades. I thought they all performed really well, and I can't wait to use this more. As for the pigment, obviously I only used one of them, and it's this kind of holographic iridescent one. Do I think it's pretty? Absolutely. I think this is beautiful. Is it something that I will reach for? Probably not, because I just don't think that like the end result is worth the hassle of going through having to use a loose pigment. Let me know if I maybe used this wrong. Maybe I could have gotten more out of this. Maybe it's something that's supposed to be layered like all over your lid for a different kind of effect, but I don't think that this added more to a look that any pressed shadow would, if that makes sense. And so for me, reaching for a pigment, it's just kind of a hassle. Like, I've just never been a pigment kind of person, so if you are, you would probably love this because it is a beautiful pigment. It's just not really my thing. So that's gonna be it for today's video. If you want to see some similar content, I will pop some up on the screen. And if you're new to my channel, I would love it if you would consider subscribing, and I will see you in my next one.